अब मैं आमंत्रित करूंगी बहुमुखी प्रतिभा के धनी श्री सुनीत टंडन जी को, जो कि IIMC यानी इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ मास कम्युनिकेशन के डायरेक्टर जनरल हैं। आप लोकसभा टीवी में CEO भी रह चुके हैं और आपकी गणना देश के जाने माने न्यूज़ रीडर्स और थिएटर डायरेक्टर्स में की जाती है।
Journalism is a profession which has a lot of pressures of time. You have to very quickly decide on what is happening and write about it. And therefore, a journalist has always to be well prepared. The awareness level, the general knowledge, awareness of the world, of the country, of various subjects has to be quite diverse and quite in perspective. A journalist cannot be an expert on every subject, but a journalist must have a glancing knowledge of most subjects that he or she writes about or talks about. So awareness is absolutely primary. You must have a passion to communicate. But there are perils also in that passion, as we see again and again nowadays. And we see them particularly in the more tabloid form of journalism, or we see it in some of the news channels that we have in our country, that there is a tendency to sensationalize and draw attention to yourself by being as shrill as possible. Obviously, this is a tendency that has to be avoided, because a journalist must always present a balanced view. Without that balanced view of differing perspectives, the journalist loses his or her primary power, and that is the power of credibility. Unless you are credible, you cannot function as the fourth pillar of democracy. I want to give you some examples of some journalists also who go into specialized areas of interest. I think you have to really examine within yourself, what are your various areas? Is it political reporting? Is it crime? Is it rural? Is it development? Is it science? There are all kinds of fields now, and in each field you need to have some kind of knowledge. Legal reporting is another area where you need to have knowledge before you can really venture forward. And we have the example of somebody like P. Sainath, for instance, of the Hindu, who has created such a precedent of reporting on the kind of stories that nobody else was writing about, and yet alerting the nation through rigorous examination of facts, through rigorous research. Journalism is often seen, when one is very young, when one goes into the profession, as a place where you have glamour, where you have recognition. But please remember, no recognition comes, no true recognition or respect comes, unless you are credible and sincere to your task, and unless you embody that passion. May the budding journalists flower into great names that we will hear about and will respect in the future. Thank you.